Hello and welcome to Virtual Learning Network. This e-lecture is on Computer Basics and PC Software, Block 1, Unit 1, Part 2, Introduction to Computer, Their Origin and Applications. Topics to be covered are Computer System, Units of Computer System, Classification of Computers, Classification of computers by technology, brief about circuits, transistor versus vacuum tubes, operating system, current applications of computer, limitations of computers. Let's start with introduction. In this part, we will learn about operating system. This part will provide description about computers, different components, their applications, and some current hardware platforms of computer. This part also defines limitations of computer. Computer system. How computer work. Computer takes input, store data and instruction, process data and instruction, after that gives output. So let's start with input. This is the process of entering data and programs in the computer system. Storage. The process of saving data and instruction permanently is known as storage. Processing. The task of performing operations like arithmetic and logical operations is called processing. Output. This is the process of producing results from the data for getting useful information. This diagram shows basic computer operation. Here, input unit takes input, storage unit store input data. ALU does not know what should be done with the data. Likewise, output unit does not know when the result should be displayed. By selecting, interning, and seeing to the execution of the program, the CU, control unit, is able to maintain order and direct the operations of the entire system. Then ALU perform operations. The ALU and the CU of a computer system are jointly known as the Central Processing Unit CPU, and output unit gives output. Operational unit. The computer allocates the task among its various operational units. These are arithmetic logical unit, control unit, central processing unit. Let's start with ALU, arithmetic logical unit. The arithmetic logical unit is an important component of the CPU, which carry the actual execution of the instructions. After entering the data through the input device, it is stored in the primary storage unit. Then, processing of the data and instruction are performed by arithmetic logical unit. The major operations performed by the ALU are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, logic and comparisons. Data is transferred to ALU from storage unit when required. The next component of computer is the control unit. This component acts like the supervisor, seeing that things are done in proper fashion. The control unit determines the sequence in which computer programs and instructions are executed. It also acts as a switchboard operator when several users access the computer simultaneously. Thereby, it coordinates the activities of computers' peripheral equipment as they perform the input and output. Therefore, it is the manager of all operations. Next one is Central Processing Unit. The ALU and the CU of a computer system are jointly known as the Central Processing Unit. The term CPU relates to a specific chip or the processor. CPU may be considered as the brain of any computer system. It is just like a brain that takes all major decisions, makes all supports of calculations, and directs different parts of the computer functions by activating and controlling the operation. The fundamental operation of most CPU is to execute a serial of instruction called as a program. Next one is system unit. A computer system unit consists many parts. Port and connectors. A port is a connector located on the motherboard or on a separate adapter. Ports and connectors allow the computer to communicate with different devices and a peripheral attached with it. Power supply. Power supply changes normal household electricity into electricity that a computer can use. A power supply or power supply unit is an internal component used to supply the power to the components of a computer. Power supply is rated by the number of watts it generates. Motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board of a microcomputer. It is also known as the main board or system board. Many devices are connected with motherboards directly or indirectly. Motherboards usually provide the interface between the CPU memory and input-output peripheral circuits, main memory and facilities for initial setup of the computer immediately after power on. This diagram is known as von Neumann architecture. This architecture is known as a von Neumann architecture. It is a design model for the modern computer which has central processing unit CPU and the concept of memory used for storing both data and instruction. This model implements the stored program concept in which the data and instruction both are stored in the memory. All computers share the same basic architecture which have memory, an input-output system, arithmetic logic unit and control unit. There are three major types of computer classification: size, functionality and data handling. Classification of computers in relation to size divides computers into four main categories: mainframe computer, minicomputer, microcomputer and supercomputer. Let's start with microcomputer. A microcomputer is a complete computer on a smaller scale. Its synonym personal computer or PC. A computer designed for an individual. A microcomputer contains a microprocessor. It is the smallest type of digital computer. A personal computer designed to meet the computer needs of an individual. It is a digital computer system under the control of a stored program that uses a microprocessor, a programmable read-only memory, and a random access memory. Next one is minicomputer. Minicomputer system provide faster operating speeds and larger storage capacities than microcomputer system. Operating system developed for microcomputer systems generally supports both multi-programming and virtual storage. This means that many programs can be run concurrently. These computers can support a large number of high-speed input-output devices. Next one is mainframe computers. Computer used primarily by large organizations for critical applications. Bulk data processing. Mainframes are huge multi-user systems designed to process millions of instructions per second, capable of accessing billions of data. They can handle huge processing jobs in large corporations or government agencies. Mainframe computers are normally too expensive and out of reach from a salaried person who wants this computer for his home. Mainframe is the second largest in capability and size of computer family. Next one is supercomputer. The most expensive in price, biggest and faster machines today are the supercomputers that are used when billions or even trillions of calculations are needed. Supercomputers are ultra-fast computers designed to process huge amount of scientific data. Supercomputers have been used for scientific and engineering applications that must handle very large databases. Classification by technology. Analog computers. The name analog comes from the word analogous, meaning similar. Analog signal is a continuous signal whose amplitude can take any value in a continuous range. It can have infinite number of values. Analog computers deal with quantities that are continuously variable. They give only approximate results. These type of computer provides an analog or simulation of the object or system it represents. It is specially useful for solving problems that involve relationship between variable quantities in systems that change with time. Digital computers. It is a machine that specializes in counting. It operates by counting values that are discrete or separate and distinct. The continuous quantities that can be measured by the analog computer. Digital signal is a discrete time signal that has a discrete number of levels. It can only assume one of the two values, 0 or 1. While analog technology uses continuous signal, digital technology encodes the information into discrete signal states. Digital computers are used for both business data processing and accuracy. The basic operation performed by a digital computer is addition. It can store the sum of addition problems as they accumulate and can complete a single calculation in a fraction of a nanosecond. Hybrid computers. It combines the best features of both type of computer. It has the speed of analog computer and the memory and accuracy of digital computer. Hybrid computers are used mainly in specialized applications where both kinds of data needs to be processed. It is help the user to process both continuous and discrete data. For example, a petrol pump contains a processor that converts fuel flow measurements into quantity and price values. Integrated circuits. Our world is full of integrated circuit. It is an electronic circuit which involves thousands or millions of interconnected components like transistors, diodes and resistors. They are usually called ICs. The main benefit of ICs are lower cost, high reliability and smaller space requirement. Electronic circuit. The integrated circuit is nothing more than a very advanced electric circuit. An electric circuit is made from different electrical components such as transistors, resistors, capacitors and diodes, which are connected to each other in different ways. It is an unbroken loop of conductive material that allows electrons to flow continuously. Here is a difference, the transistor versus the vacuum tube. The transistor is the most important one for the development of modern computer. Just as the transistor, the vacuum tube can switch electricity on or off or amplify a current. The vacuum tube looks and behaves very much like a light bulb. It generates a lot of heat and has a tendency to burn out. Also, compared to the transistor, it is a slow, big and bulky. One of the most common uses for transistors in an electronic circuit is a simple switches. Now, operating system. Operating system is a program that acts as an interface between user of computer and the computer hardware. The purpose of an operating system is to provide an environment in which user can execute program in a convenient and efficient manner. Operating system is installed in secondary machine, while its some part are stored permanently in read-only memory. Some part of the operating system resides in random access memory and the computer begins to execute this part of the system. Here is a current applications of computer: banking, traffic light control, entertainment. Here is a limitation of a computer: no intelligence. Unlike human being, computers do not have any intelligence. Self-care, thinking. Computer cannot think itself. The concept of artificial intelligence shows that the computer can think. Now it's time for summary. The operating system is an important component of modern computer. The two main objectives of operating system are controlling the computer's hardware and providing an interactive interface between the user and machine. Thank you for this session.